All right, welcome. Today we're going to do something pretty cool. Teach an AI how to see. We are going to break down step by step how a machine learns to understand what's actually happening in a video. Let's dive in.
Think about it. For you and me, it's a no-brainer, right? We see snow, skis, and someone sliding down a mountain. We know it's skiing. We see a table, some food, people eating. That's dining. But for a computer, a video is just a massive, chaotic flood of pixel data. The real trick is teaching it to see the action in that chaos. In the AI world, this is called human action recognition, and we're about to see exactly how it's done.
So, here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about the challenge itself. Then, we'll meet the amazing AI model we're going to use. After that, we'll get our hands dirty getting the video data ready. Then we'll actually build the AI's brain. And finally, we'll see how well it all worked. Okay, let's start with the fundamental challenge here. This isn't just about spotting an object in a picture. It's about understanding a story that's told through movement. The AI has to connect the dots from one frame to the next to actually figure out what's going on. To solve a problem this complex, you can't just use any old tool. You need something specialized. So let's introduce the star of our show, the Video Swin Transformer. This is a seriously cutting-edge AI, built from the ground up specifically for this kind of work. So what makes this thing so special? Well, think of it less like a camera that just takes snapshots and more like a brain that's actually watching a movie. It's designed not just to see what's in a single frame, but to understand how things are changing between the frames. And that, right there, is the secret to recognizing an action. You see, to really understand a video, an AI has to process two types of information at the same time. You've got spatial information, that's everything in one static picture, like the shapes and objects. But then you've got temporal information. That's the movement, the speed, how everything changes over time. You absolutely need both to get the full story. And here is the model's secret sauce, this really clever technique called shifted windows. Imagine the AI is looking at the video, but through a small window. Instead of trying to process the whole thing at once, it looks at one little patch. Then it shifts its window to look at another patch that slightly overlaps. By doing this over and over across the image and through time, it learns how everything is connected, but in a super efficient way that doesn't overwhelm it. Now, you might be wondering, are we teaching this AI from scratch, like from birth? Absolutely not. That would be a monumental task. Instead, we're taking a genius shortcut. We're using a model that already comes with a basic understanding of what the world looks like. The model we're starting with is already pretty smart. It was trained on this huge dataset called Kinetics 400, which has hundreds of thousands of videos of 400 different actions. So it already knows a lot. It's kind of like this. We're not teaching a toddler the alphabet, we're giving a college grad a specialized textbook to study. It already has a rich visual vocabulary. Okay, so we've got our brilliant AI model, but we can't just throw raw video files at it and hope for the best. Now we get to a really crucial part of the process, preparing the data. And right away, we hit a big problem. In the real world, some videos might be 3 seconds long, others might be 10, but our AI model is a stickler for the rules. It needs every single video to have the exact same number of frames. So what do? The answer is a neat 3-step pipeline. First, we use a tool to quickly rip all the individual frames out of the video. Second, and this is the important part, we make sure every single video clip is standardized to exactly 32 frames. And finally, we package it all up in a format our AI can actually understand. This 32-frame rule is the key to everything. Just picture it like you're trying to fit a film strip into a box that has a fixed size. If your film strip is too short, you just copy some frames to fill the box. If it's too long, you carefully snip out 32 frames that are spread out evenly across the whole clip. Either way, the AI gets a nice, consistent input every time. So how do we figure out which frames to pick automatically? With this simple but incredibly powerful function. You basically just tell it, hey, this video has 100 frames, but I need the indexes of 32 frames that are perfectly spaced out. And bam, it instantly spits out the exact frame numbers to grab. Problem solved. Okay, our data is prepped and perfectly formatted. Now it's time for the main event. Let's get into how we actually train our AI's brain to become an expert on the specific actions we want it to recognize. To manage this flow of information, we need a sort of traffic controller. In our case, that's a function called prepare dataset. Its whole job is to take all our carefully processed videos and feed them to the AI in an orderly fashion, one small batch at a time. It keeps the whole training process running smoothly. And this data pipeline needs just a few instructions. We tell it where our videos are, we confirm that each one should be 32 frames long, and, this is important, we set a batch size of 4. That just means the AI is going to study the videos in small groups of 4. Now, you might be looking at that number and thinking, why only 4 videos at a time? That seems really small. And you're right. The reason is purely practical. These 3D video models are computational beasts. Trying to process more than 4 at a time on the T4 GPU we're using would literally cause it to run out of memory.
So how do we adapt this powerful pre-trained model for our specific task? We use a process called fine-tuning. We basically freeze the original brain and then bolt on a few new layers. One layer takes all the complex information and simplifies it. Another adds some new capacity for learning. We add a special layer called dropout to prevent the model from just memorizing the examples. And then a final output layer makes a prediction for our action.
So after all that setup, all that data preparation, all that training, we finally get to the moment of truth. Let's see how well our newly specialized AI can do on a test with videos it's never ever seen before. And the results are incredible. The model score is somewhere between 80 and 100% accuracy. Just to be clear, this is on a specific dataset built for testing. And that little bit of variation from run to run, that's totally normal in machine learning. But the big takeaway here is that the performance is consistently and extremely high. The model really did learn to tell the difference between actions. So let's just do a quick recap. The problem was teaching an AI to understand action. The process was to take a powerful pre-trained model, meticulously prepare our data for it, and then fine-tune it for our specific task. And the payoff? A system that can recognize what people are doing in videos with amazing accuracy. And this brings us to a really fascinating final thought. Once an AI can reliably tell the difference between big, obvious actions like skiing and dining, what comes next? What about all the subtle things we do? A quick glance, a slight hesitation, a tiny hand gesture? What happens when AI learns to see and understand those two? We are truly just scratching the surface.